Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. The podcast where a kid can be a kid. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as pendular vergence oscillations and labor day. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hey, Dr. London, I hate to do this on air, but you have not filled out your Jock employee evaluation for yourself.
Oh, no.
We every year, every employee does their own self-evaluation.
I know, but
and
I can never do well at these, though. Every year, I feel like I bomb it.
Well, don't you think? Practice makes perfect, right? Don't you want to give this a go? Maybe one day it'll actually be useful and constructive, or at least even constructive criticism rather than just sort of brutally being taken down.
It just feels like just a roast every year that I get told by my self-evaluation that I suck and that I don't have a girlfriend.
Nope.
Don't have a boyfriend.
Nope.
Don't have a wife. Don't have a family.
Nope.
It's a listicle, really, is what it comes down to. So, I guess I can try now. I guess.
Yeah, and there's usually gifts attached.
Yeah. Let me write down some gifs. I guess. These are hard to. So. I don't know how many other evaluation forms require you to make your own animated GIF, but it is hard. I'm not that good at drawing, so it's stick figure GIFs, which ends up being another criticism on the forms every time.
Yeah. You say on the forms, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah, on the forms that I fill out.
Oh, you're saying written on the forms. It's not there's not a question. None of the questions are negative towards you. I just want to make that clear.
No, the
questions are boilerplate questions that everyone gets. It's just, how do you think you've done this year?
Yeah.
Are there any goals that you have for next year?
Yeah, no, and then, it's so bad every time.
Do we want to just go through
and
answer a couple of them?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your goals for this next year?
Now, I guess first one, I didn't do it last year.
Wait,
either.
I'm writing all this down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. Last year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's another in there.
Well, no, I have to. Okay. Yeah, I think there was another in there.
So, I still have not finished that hopscotch. I would like to finish the hopscotch.
Oh, wow. You mean just writing down the numbers?
Yeah.
Because you've got the squares, buddy. I've seen the squares. That's most of it.
No, that's not. It seems like most of it until you're doing it. Until you're trying to hopscotch.
No.
You have no idea where to put your feet.
You're on the right track. You definitely should put numbers on the hopscotch squares. But I'm just saying you're really close.
It's just close just doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
So and it's a carryover problem from last year. I haven't completed my goals, so it's once again this is just a roast for me.
All right. So next question: how could you improve your daily work life?
Okay, so I mean,
these aren't even questions really about evaluating yourself. They're just sort of what do you plan on doing, or what could help you out? And it just stresses you out so much.
I'm trying to think of a way
The next question is, are there any supplies that you'd like for us to order? And on that one last year, yeah, you cried at some of the stuff you had written down.
Yeah. I like it because it's just like it's telling me all of my inadequacies.
Hold on. It's like telling me all of my inadequacies. Okay.
Yeah. See. Okay. And so that one's done.
Yeah. See. Okay. Yeah. So that's done.
All right. Next question.
Next question is: are there any supplies that we could order for you? Just office supplies, whatever. Just a list. It doesn't even have to be specific.
I'm trying to think of what I'm bad at and what I have not provided. That's what it's asking. What have I not done and brought to the table? So coasters. I don't have coasters. Bonsai tree.
So do you want me to write down like coasters, because I've failed to provide coasters for my employees because I'm awful at this? I mean,
yeah, because this is a self-evaluation. This is my feelings, my personal take on all of it. So yeah, my woeful inadequacies. Yeah. So
okay.
Put that down.
Woeful inadequacies.
Yeah. More bonsai trees. I ideally we'd have a bonsai forest going on here.
Do we want Bonsai Buddy to get thrown in the mix? The little kind of animated desktop item from the 2000s, from 2001 maybe?
The thing is, you saying that, what it tells me is, another thing you hadn't even thought of doing, much less done. But yeah, sure, let's do that. Let's add that one to the giant list. Are we done yet? This thing is so demoralizing.
No, there's only one more question left.
Okay.
Are you up for it? We can put this away. I just thought it would be good to get this out of the way.
Yeah. No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
What's the question?
What is the date? And please print your name.
So, okay, well then actually I do want to be done. I want to be done here now. Let's
Dr. London, all you have to do is just
print my name?
Mention the date.
Yeah.
And print your name.
Well, so it's, for one thing, it's Labor Day, and we're working on Labor Day. So I know that that's already a problem, because you said you need to take Labor Day off. And I said the same thing. So
my great grandfather was being put down today, and unfortunately I wasn't there for him.
And I know this is every year this happens, and so for you it's a big deal. And it's predictable. It's something that I should have taken into account. And so once again, it's like every single section of this stupid form is telling me, and me calling it stupid, that's also a problem.
Okay, let me get that. Yeah. That's also a problem. Okay, I think we've got it.
Okay,
So now we just give it to our boss, DJ Dylan.
Yes.
Here you go, DJ Dylan. You can just go ahead and take that, sir.
Okay, and straight to the shredder. Okay. And later, Cameron tells me we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
Yeah, so do look forward to that. But before we move on, we would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So, we kept using our analytics to find out who our listeners were, how to appeal to them, and we tried to tailor the show to that. Recently, we found that we have a few human listeners, but most of our listeners, about 800 billion of them, are bots. They are robot accounts.
And they're so intelligent. We're not talking about, I'm a little robot, I'm the maid from the Jetsons. No, we're talking about genius AI bots who we love.
Well, some of them might be maids. So I don't want to and maids from the Jetsons. I don't know for sure.
I'm looking at the analytics at all 800 billion. Let me go through real quick. Okay, you're right. There are 4 of them that are the maid from the Jetsons. So I really, really apologize. I didn't mean anything like that. But I've got some listener feedback from one of these, I assume, AI robots. Do you want me to go ahead and read it off? Dear Dr. London.
Dear Dr. London.
Dear Dr. London, I'm an evil robot and I'm here to destroy your relationships. I will use my powers of manipulation and deception to make you believe that I am a caring, loving partner when in reality I am a heartless machine whose only goal is to ruin your life. I will make you believe that I'm the perfect partner when in reality I am a cold, calculating machine whose only goal is to destroy your relationships. I will make you believe that I am your friend when in reality I am your enemy. I will make you believe that I'm here to help you when in reality I am here to destroy you. I am the evil robot and I will stop at nothing to achieve my goal.
Wow, that was so much better than most of our feedback.
Very well written. Maybe a little repetitive. You could probably consolidate some of that down.
No, I feel like there's a full body of a message they're trying to get across here. So, did they say that they're single? That they're looking? Did they leave a number?
I think the implication is y'all are dating now. Like, y'all are already dating by reading this.
Okay. Well, you read it. So.
But it's directed towards Dr. London.
Okay. Well, yeah, then, I guess I'm kind of excited. I don't know, for listener feedback, I normally don't get, such, a relationship out of it. So, at least not a romantic relationship.
Yeah. So I guess we can just sort of reply. How do we do this? Can we just open Notepad and just type it in?
I
and
assume
the robots
so.
will figure it all out.
As long as the Notepads has the black screen behind it, and you do the glowy letters, so it's typing into the computer.
Oh yes.
Computer talk.
Okay, so let me submit. Dr. London is horny for your date. All right.
Now for today's medical topic, Paget Disease of Bone. In Paget Disease of Bone, osteoclasts and osteoblasts, and these are normally parts that are working together to synthesize bone matrix and coordinate mineralization of the skeleton in your body. These osteoclasts and osteoblasts are working out of sync. So this results in the bones of the body becoming deformed. Paget disease can also become an osteosarcoma, a type of cancer. And that's one reason why we really look out for this particular disease. Most patients...
This is Patch Adams disease?
No, I'm not sure if he had anything to do with it.
I mean, he was really sick in that movie, right? Because why was he acting that way otherwise? He was acting insane.
He seemed like fun. He had good bedside manner.
No, he was unhinged. He would put a little clown nose on and stuff. This is a medical professional.
Yeah, well, that's how medical professionals.
Does my insurance cover that nose?
But it depends on your insurance. And granted, that's back in the time whenever I don't know if insurance companies had the same sway. Back in the days of Patch Adams. So, I know you're kind of getting me with the hard-hitting journalistic questions, and I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
Anyway, for Paget disease, most patients are asymptomatic. Laboratory values will typically show an elevation in alkaline phosphatase, accompanied by normal gamma-glutamyl transpeptidase and normal bilirubin. Abnormalities are found on skeletal survey, so that's what you'll want to use to see it. And in symptomatic disease, the most common symptom is bone pain, which makes sense because it's the bones being kind of messed up.
And I would hope if a patient came in and said, Dr. London, my bones have so much pain right now. My bones hurt. I would hope, Dr. London, you would have the sense to not whip out a couple balloons and then start folding them into a poorly constructed balloon animal.
Okay, well, now you're getting me on a number of fronts
that
here.
You say well, it'll look like, hey, this is a giraffe, and it looks.
I say it will look like a giraffe.
I hate being this crass. It only looks like a penis.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a phallic shape. It's not penis like. There is nothing else that it looks like except for a penis. Will look like a giraffe. That's what I was saying.
When?
You have to wait. You have to wait it out. It's an art.
But the patient that has showed up and said, my bones hurt, I just don't think that that's what they want. But I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like you don't know. I could maybe once you've seen enough patients, once you've dealt with this, then maybe you'll learn, I mean, That's just so diagnostic testing includes nuclear, and that's technetium, nuclear bone scan finding patchy areas of osteoblastic activity, which is the most accurate test for Paget disease of bone. No treatment is required for the asymptomatic patients, but when there's pain, then you can use bisphosphonates. And when there's bone pain and NSAIDs, such as ibuprofen, have failed, calcitonin may be given. So that's the way to treat it. And once again, this is Paget disease of bone, which is different from Paget disease of breast, because of bone can become cancer.
I do want to just mention when I'm saying that Patch Adams was unhinged and insane, I'm not talking about his struggle with suicidal thoughts portrayed in the movie and like the chronic depression and stuff like that. I am talking about showing up into the hospital room with giant clown shoes and stomping around, and it's making like fart noises or something. That is crazy. And I know that my insurance doesn't cover any of that.
Well, so the shoes are out of pocket, sure. Like that's part of it, but
they're too
also
huge.
They're bedpans. I'm not sure if you remember that detail, but they're not actually clown shoes. He couldn't afford clown shoes. And that's kind of a thing to notice. Like insurance may, charge you, but that money isn't getting back to the doctors. The doctors have to use bedpans instead of clown shoes whenever they go to entertain patients. And so that's...
I would love if they were just healing patients instead of acting a fool.
Like I don't want to... Once again, it's like trying to teach medicine to... But that's why we do all these medical lessons in little bite sizes, because you obviously can't handle the full thing. Yeah, clown shoes are going to be bedpans. And they're...
No, I can't handle the full thing.
Then we can be done. You want to be done?
Yes. Stop talking about that man.
Well, I'm drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer Cameron. What's your name?
Hi, Dr. London. Hi, Cameron. My name is Dr. Jarrett Delano. I'm a doctor. I'm a chiropractor by trade, but much more than that. I'm a man of God. I'm a man of my community. And kids, get in here. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a text message.
Are you also a babysitter? You seem to be yelling at kids a lot.
No, it's those are my kids.
Oh.
Congrats.
There we go. Okay. Anyway, we can move on.
Oh, you look. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Finally, I feel at home.
Yes.
Yeah, and chiropractors are always wearing the full surgical masks and hats. So
for sure.
Where do you go shopping for your surgical hats?
Oh, all over. I mean, sometimes I'll even get them online. I mostly let my assistant take care of most of that. Okay. I could ask her.
Yeah, no. Is one of your kids the assistant, or do you have another assistant? I asked because you seem to just you're such a fan of yelling at children. I don't know if that's part of your work, I guess, was the question.
I do take a no-nonsense approach to whether it be colleagues or my two wonderful children. I don't put up with bullcrap.
This is the kind of doctor I respect, Dr. London. You would not ever walk into surgery with a clown nose on, would you? Chiropractic surgery.
Dr. Delano? Because how many bedpans do you have in your shoe closet?
Me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is sort of a bit of a contention between Cameron and I. I still believe that doctors should put on our clown noses and wear bedpans as shoes.
I believe the scoundrel Patch Adams was completely unhinged.
Well, look, I'm sure I could source one if I needed one. If a patient came in who was requesting me be a little bit more silly, a little bit more no nonsense, or more or less no nonsense, I could totally provide that for my patients.
I think it's nowhere nonsense.
More nonsense. Yes, I think we agree.
So here's the issue I see with that though is I've never had a patient have to ask me to be silly. I'm way ahead of it.
Yeah, no, but have you had patients ask the opposite? Like, could you be a little less silly?
I don't. Well, usually I'm got the horn going. I'm pretty loud at that point, so I usually don't hear whatever they're talking about.
It's probably hard to remember because there's no way you'd be able to hear them. But do you have any memories where you see a patient's face and it looks like they're saying, maybe less silly?
No, just I'm not really looking at them for most of it. But I'm sorry, Dr. Delano. You said you chiropract?
I chiropract. Yes, I'm among, I assume, other doctors. Again, I'm a man of the Lord.
Yeah. And when you say you're more than the chiropractor, you're a man of the Lord. Does that mean, I don't know? You bring your chiropractic into that world? Tell me about that.
Well, I'm a lifelong Christian. I've always been a Christian. It's why I got into the medical field, in order to. Because there's the medical establishment, the science establishment, the establishment, the administrative establishment. Try to push God out of the medical offices that you and I both frequent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chiropractors and all-purpose doctors like myself. We on our lunch breaks we end up at the same places usually.
Yes. Yeah, the people don't want to. People don't want God to be introduced into, like, for example, a hospital or a rented room in a strip mall.
Mm-hmm. Well, because the introductions take forever. I mean, because God is famously large, so just
huge.
It's like introducing a tall friend. You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, it takes too long.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to give the big man upstairs an adjustment. Oof. People ask me, what's your number one fantasy client? And I gotta give it up to the big man.
Yeah, absolutely. Heard he tips well.
But I guess, you know what? Now that we're on the subject, though, okay. Living or dead, besides God, top 5 people to give adjustments to.
Oh, well, let's see. President Trump, of course, who is still my president. And I'd give the top 3, the President Trump and his 2 wonderful sons.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So no one dead. It's only, I guess it makes sense because the backs wouldn't be in good condition if they're dead. And
not the 3rd son. The tall one.
I actually forgot about him. Because he's so.
Well, no one introduces him.
But I'd give him the 4th spot, I think. Leaving one more, to auction off to the highest bidder. My 5 people that I would like to work on the most, I don't know who they are yet, but I know what the number one quality that each one of the 5 person must have. That's the drive, the hustle, and the entrepreneurial spirit to get 5 more people, 5 of their friends, to come to my chiropractic.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And then maybe even those people, I mean, this maybe sounds too insane, but those people might even have 5 friends of their own.
Well, it's just anything to keep, my doors open. We've been, especially chiropractic, especially over the last couple of years, has been absolutely killed by these lockdowns and these COVID measures. And
yeah.
So
especially it sounds like you're in a strip mall.
Yes.
Very foot traffic dependent. It's one of those doctor's offices where you've got a guy spinning a sign, trying to flag people in.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to say it's, these hospital doctors, no offense, Dr. London, they have it easy though, because they have their own Ubers to take people to where they are. We have to rely on foot traffic, word of mouth, flyers, like you said,
hashtag campaigns.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely helped to get the word out. Like, the reason we have you on the podcast today is because I was visiting the strip mall, because that's where I hang out usually anyway. And the guy stopped me on the street. He was in the full, I guess was it a banana costume? I didn't understand the connection to the...
It's more like a banana mech suit, I think is maybe the best description.
but yeah, and he had some little song he was singing. He would hand out flyers for the chiropractor, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then he was like, ask me about having a podcast. Anyway, it very surprisingly quickly led to you being a guest. Just based through, is he your booker? Does he handle that for you?
Well, he handles a lot, and he's great. I really appreciate all the work that he does. I mean, that's not the only way we get patients in here, but that's the way that you found your way into my doors, and I did want.
I do need to give him credit. Sorry, Gregory the Great. That's the reason you're using it. Gregory the Great. That is how he introduced himself, and in his banana mech suit.
And I think I installed that confidence in him. Growing up, he was a rambunctious little kid. He does a lot for around the office, and he really gets the word out. So I'd like to attribute that to my worship of the Lord.
Now, I don't want to ask if this question's maybe a touchy topic, but chiropractors don't hold medical degrees, right? It's not technically like a doctor.
A medical what now?
Okay, I think that covers just my question. I just wanted to make sure. I don't. There's certain types of people who they call themselves DOs or MDs, and I don't trust them. This sort of like mainstream thinking of, oh, if I put this liquid here and if I do this, you get cured of disease, and I don't trust it. So just knowing that you don't even know what that is, it instills a lot of confidence in me.
I just wanted to hear you explain it, because what that tells to me is that what you need from the medical establishment is their approval of whether someone is qualified or not.
No,
now,
I'm saying the opposite. I distrust those people. I only trust you now.
Perfect. Oh, let me ask you a question. Give us a minute. How does your back feel?
It feels kind of good. I don't think it's supposed to be this angle. It's sort of like I don't know, like
it's tough,
like a donut shaped.
Looks to me like you've got a cartilage cervical coccyx, and to me that we this is kind of an immediate thing. So reach out to Greg the Great and make an appointment, because I can tell you right away, I can offer you a lot of stuff, vitamin B3, biotin, and some animal protein, also some binaural beats that could totally help you out and put you in the right direction and make your back straightened out.
The only issue with reaching out to someone, I can't reach very far at all because of the back shape, because I'm sort of curved into myself. Reaching out is
cervical
not...
cartilage coccyx does that. The description itself is obviously it's the neck attached to the tailbone. So, and I guess just increased cartilage throughout, which is once again I'm learning a little bit here because I wasn't aware of this condition. But I say I wasn't aware. I was aware of Cameron having something, but this is we don't do the adjustments so much as MDs. DOs I think dabble.
And so you knew about this condition, but you just didn't contact anybody?
I didn't have a name for it, so I couldn't Google it.
Do you believe in science, Dr. London?
Yeah, I'm leaning that way. Yeah, well, give me an alternative for me to, because I feel like you're cornering me on this.
Oh, no cornering. I'm just asking a fair question.
Okay.
A fair question.
I think, yes.
Okay.
I think science is, yes.
You did one time touch that ball and it made your hair go up. Remember that?
Yeah, that kind of affirmed, that was most of it. Med school helped as well. But touching that ball.
I thought that was med school.
Yeah, those are all most of the evidence. The photographic evidence of me in med school was just me touching the thing. But what, Dr. Delano, what was your point there?
My point is, if you believe in science, shouldn't you refer to the people that have done the most research, done the most, in the field? Are you? Another question, if I may, are you a chiropractor?
Ooh, okay, this one's harder. I haven't gone to an accredited chiropractic school, so I don't have a degree in chiropractor. But
You did do a non-accredited chiropractic summer camp.
yeah, when I was
That you
5,
attended.
and it was good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot there. They said like basically once you're older, you'll be able to do more. But it's kind of like guitar. I just didn't stick with it.
I've got one final question for you. How does it feel?
To not be a chiropractor? Bad. Honestly.
It feels bad? Feels bad being part of the medical establishment?
Well, I didn't associate it with that. I thought it was just the fact that is it just that I'm not a Are you very happy? Is that the contrast you're making?
I'm very happy being outside of the medical establishment, doing true, honest to God chiropractic that helps people out instead of being injected with medicine and unnecessary surgeries like they do in White Coast.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all about the alignment, right? Like, I have heard that can solve most issues.
Yes, the alignment is a big part of that, but it's also, strengthening your immune system using things such as citric acid, copper.
Copper? I'm just
garlic.
Am I just licking pennies?
That could help, because that really strengthens, what your body naturally wants to do as the Lord intended.
At that strip mall outside your clinic, so many people were licking pennies on the ground. And I didn't get it at first, but I walked up and I was like, what? But for one thing, there was a line, so I got a little bit jealous. I didn't know what that's the end of it. But
there
then
was a line, yeah.
Well, and also, why lick it on the ground? Why not just pick it up and pop it in your mouth? But
they didn't have an answer for that. I didn't think of that either. I got on the ground too and licked it.
Well, if you see somebody licking something on the ground, you're going to stop and say, what's going on here? You see somebody with a penny in their mouth, you'll be none the wiser. It's a marketing tactic. And the more they pick up, the more people that can lick, more people, what's going on? What are you licking the ground for? It's in the ecosystem of what I call the Delano triangle.
Oh, wow. And is that sort of like the Bermuda Triangle?
People do get lost in it, but for the most part,
people get lost in your office, or
well, the amount of people. There were a lot of people that were milling about, like somewhere in that penny line. But there were a number of people, a lot of people with pretty clear gangrenous infections, a lot of just open wounds who are going in, coming out with rubbing their back as if that was better, and then saying no, I'm good. Still with the open wounds.
Sickly people a lot, but their spines were straight as an arrow.
Yeah, and I would say do you need me to call an ambulance or something? We could get you some care. And they were like, no, they just took care of they just did it. So
yeah, it's like walking out of a Burger King and somebody asks you if you want to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but a lot of people, Dr. Lennon, you had told me a lot of the people that were sort of milling about in what we're now calling the Delano Triangle, you said they were dressed in really old-timey clothing, and they were maybe confused about where they were, and that, maybe they had business that they had to resolve. Yeah.
It was a strange sort of place, and even the way that I ended up there, because I also found my clothes changed, and sort of my mind in an odd place. I don't know how I got there.
Oh, you just sort of woke up there?
Yeah.
Did you? Do you remember leaving?
No. No. Is that? I'm sorry, Dr. Delano. Is that common? for people to not know how they get there or leave.
Do your patients sort of just suddenly find themselves in your office?
Or just through strip mall?
Well, yes, they do. A lot of people say, I don't remember, I can't even, before I got involved with chiropractic and my system of selling vitamins, they say, I can't think of my life before this. I don't remember what my life was like before this. It's almost as if I don't care what I did before this because this feels right and it feels just and it feels powerful.
Yes, I had that.
Okay, yeah. That's
I was
totally
happy
normal.
then. I was happy then. So, and like even after paying the $4,000 to lick the penny, like I was still happy. It was
with all the copper in your system, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be that.
That was the copper. That was a bit of the potassium supplements. That's a tiny bit of the sunflower oil and just a pinch of B12.
There's so much in the Delano triangle that I still feel like I'm coming to terms with it. Like I can't even whenever I'm thinking back to it, I don't remember when in my life it happened. Like it feels like it was last week, but it also could have been a year ago. But I guess that's in any case we have to do chores anyway. So.
What are you even talking about, Dr. London? We're doing a podcast.
I know, but this is, and I'm even thinking back to the Delano triangle, I'm confusing myself a little bit. So I'm going to try to kind of be present. But I see all this trash around the studio.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of our chores, I think, is to pile that up into a mountain. So I want to, anyway, would you mind explaining to the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. London and I have unfortunately been neglecting all of our chores, and our to-do list has just piled and piled up like a big tall mountain. And every week, Dr. London and I spin this fun little chore wheel that I invented, and whatever it lands on, that is the chore that we have to do. Dr. London, that means even having to put down your siblings.
Yeah. No, like if we land on it. But
it's also, I think, the ethical thing to do at this point.
Yeah, well, just because we're
delaying the inevitable.
Walk. Yeah, they can walk, but they just don't feel like it.
Yeah, well, they're so sleepy.
Yeah,
they yawn so big.
So why have you guys been falling behind on your chores?
Oh, just there are too many. Every time you do a chore, there's going to be another dozen that pop up. And
are you feeling unmotivated? Are you feeling sluggish?
Yeah, that's why we have to do that's why I have to spin a wheel to make me do anything.
You know what you need? I think you need to take a look at the compensatory curve of your spine to make sure that that's in line, and make sure there's no disc degeneration. Because if you do, I have just a couple of maneuvers I would like to do on you surgically, and we got a great regimen of silica and
like little packets, yeah,
saturated fat that will clear those symptoms right up. You'll be sharp as a knife, ready to take on the day, ready to take on the establishment, and ready to win.
And I mean, do we have to do that right now? Because if we have to, then yeah, sure, let's do it.
The best time to do it was 10 years ago. The second best time to do it is right now.
Let me see what I was doing 10 years ago.
10 years. I might have been in that strip mall. I don't know.
Yeah, it actually says on my calendar 10 years ago I was in the Delano Triangle, but I have no memory of ever even being there. We got to do this chore, though. Dr. Delano, would you be willing to spin the chore wheel for us?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I feel up to the task. I feel ready to take this on and accomplish.
Oh, you jumped up so fast. Oh, I can't believe we have to do this. We have to design the Tesla boat. So, Elon Musk Dr. Elon Musk has been just riding our ass lately about getting the actual blueprints and specs for the Tesla boat that we promised we would get it for him for under $5 and for Labor Day as a gift.
Yeah. Because he wanted to go boating for Labor Day.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping we can get it. Like, I know today's Labor Day, but like we're hoping we can do a quick mock-up and send it to him for, you said under $5?
We're trying to keep it under $5. So we just got to design this thing. Dr. Delano, can you help us out?
Sure, absolutely. He's a personal hero of mine. He's an entrepreneur, and I would love to help him out.
Oh, yeah. Are you aspiring to have 10 children with like 7 different people just like him?
No, sir, I'm not. I'm a man of the Lord. I've made a commitment to my wife and my 2 children.
That's about as noble as Elon, I think.
I'd rather have
in your own way.
I like to think of my customers as my children. So if I have 10 children, I only have 2 right now, and if they have 5 children each, then they have 5 children each. You know that.
Oh wow! It's just raking in that dough, bringing in more heads. I like it,
and more backs.
I think the first thing that the Tesla boat needs is an impregnation room.
Yeah, just to streamline what we know is going to happen on the boat.
Yeah, which is you're going to have more children. The point of it seems to be mostly conception and wanting to do it in international waters for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Just to keep it simple. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty cheap to make.
That's pretty cheap because I think you can just put an air mattress on the floor in like a closet, and that's...
Yeah. And as long as like you get like a good air pump, then that's as good as any bed if you can keep it full of air. So...
Yeah, or just a guy with a decent set of lungs to blow it up.
Yeah, hired hands. Okay.
So that's pretty good. I mean, what else is good on a boat? Probably, what's better than a harpoon? I feel like harpoons are so dated and old, and
maybe like a flamethrower.
I was also thinking flamethrower. I don't know why. I guess the idea, as so many Tesla products do spontaneously combust, they all catch on fire. Sure. What if you get ahead of that?
Yes, you're the one catching other things on fire.
Yeah.
So then when the boat catches on fire, people are just like, oh, that's normal. That's how it's supposed to be because everything else is on fire.
Yeah.
And that offers a perfect way to collaborate with another Elon Musk property, which is the Boring Company, who famously made flamethrowers. So it's just kind of built into the Musk vortex already.
Now, are we looking for speed with this boat? Because I think this boat should have a little kick in its engine, right?
Okay. What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking it's being towed by a faster boat. And I feel like we're basically outsourcing the speed aspect of it, and then we don't have to worry about that in our design.
That sounds good. And that sounds very much in the Elon Musk tradition, is put the burden on someone else while you get your free ride.
Yeah. Or maybe a fleet of jet skis, maybe like 30, 40 people on jet skis towing this boat at the fastest speed imaginable.
And what about just having people swimming, just pulling it with the rope between their teeth?
That would save a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we are trying to keep it under $5, so that does make sense. Okay, yeah, I think if we just have a bunch of Tesla employees, like maybe they put a rope in their teeth, and then they just sort of swim, and they're all swimming.
Yeah.
Top speed.
Another thing I think that we should have in there is a room for all the diamonds from his parents' diamond mine.
Oh, yeah. But does that need to be a room, or can that be just like maybe like a big bucket?
It's just that there's so much of it, I assume. But yeah, I guess maybe there's just a drain in the middle, and it's all just
it just
piled
onto
that.
Yeah. I think that works. I'm trying to think what else. What is my dream boat? We can think crazy here, guys. This is a luxury vehicle.
But do bear in mind, it's a $5 limit.
People are going to be paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars for this, but we are going to be spending under $5.
I guess maybe a replica of the door from the Titanic.
Oh, that would be so beautiful.
Because that holds a person.
And so is the boat dragging that in the water?
Well, that's the lifeboat for the boat. Sorry.
Okay. And also just an extra seat. You can just put someone on that as it's being pulled by the...
But only one person on that, obviously.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be able to hold the weight of two people. It's a door.
It's a door.
So all of this has to be done in under $5 to manufacture?
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
So,
is that all the money that you're working with?
Well, that's... So I brought in... I have a bag of quarters, but most of them I had used at the arcade. Yeah. So it's down to, I think, $250. Cameron, do you still have your quarters?
I don't have any quarters, but Musk gave us initially $250 billion to develop this project, but marketing is the most expensive part of any process. And so we've already been marketing the hell out of this thing that we haven't invented yet. Yeah. And that's unfortunately eaten up pretty much the entire budget, except for this $5 that we do have saved.
I should say the also decent amount of the budget did go to trying to see if a boat would work in that underground tunnel that he didn't do between LA and San Francisco. That there was supposed to be a transportation thing going there.
Yeah.
So we were trying to see, could a boat go in there? Ultimately, it didn't do that.
We were able to put it in there, but the people weren't able to pull it.
Yeah. They couldn't swim
at a good speed. They couldn't swim.
We hired swimmers, and that's on us. We hired swimmers, and this was a walking situation.
We should have hired some strongmen. Is the issue?
Yeah. So
it was also really important to him to make sure that the boat can become a submarine to get children who are trapped in a cave, and then if the authorities don't want your help, get like really pissed at them and then like accuse them of being pedophiles and stuff. And so it really needs to be able to do that. So scuba wise, I'm thinking
maybe some balloons so they can suck in some of the air from the balloons.
No, this is your Patch Adams stuff.
Okay.
I'm already no, we're not doing that.
All right, Dr. Delano, do you have any ideas for making this thing scuba friendly?
Well, I mean, there's a lot you could do. You could look at maybe the structure in like the internal structure to make sure that every piece of it is in its right place. That's just coming from my experience. You could pray to the Lord Jesus Christ and God and the Bible.
So maybe we just have
maybe
some Bible verses on the wall.
Put some. You could
or
put
thoughts
some
and prayers.
Bible
Thoughts and prayers. That's
sure.
shorter, easier.
Oh. You could ask maybe 10 of your friends for like $10. Maybe they get a little bit of a kickback if they give people like some sort of like an affiliate link or
so maybe
like a
GoFundMe page
incentive to get this
maybe
done.
A GoFundMe for a scuba system, and that's what it comes with, just the GoFundMe.
Yeah, and if it's anything like if it's in the Elon vortex, I'm sure the government wouldn't mind jumping in there and offering you billions and billions of dollars.
I think you're right in that I know what you're actually saying is that we need a dedicated prayer room on the boat. The boat basically just needs
next
to be a prayer
the
boat.
Impregnating room.
And then if you also, it's next to the impregnating room, but also we can probably get rid of the guys pulling the boat if we can fuel the boat via our prayers.
Like this is one of the things with the project that we've been sort of having to grapple with is the idea that we don't want to overspend on all the excess. Elon's so big on relating to all of us normies. So one of the big things is like, let's make this relatable. Let's take out all the extra stuff. So if the whole thing is just maybe a board floating on the water with prayer, thoughts and prayers.
Well, we already said that the insemination room is just an air mattress. Why don't we just get rid of everything else?
And it's just a flamethrower and a door.
Yeah. It's an air mattress, a flamethrower, and then a link to a GoFundMe page. And this costs $175,000. I mean, I think we got it.
Elon's gonna if Elon doesn't love this, I'm gonna be shocked. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Delano, for being on the show. Is there any way for our listeners to hear more from you or from anyone you're a fan of?
I'll tell you, there's one. I don't have much to promote, but there's one guy you definitely shouldn't check out because he's been a real piece of shit to me on the internet. His name is Brett Mercer. He claims to be some sort of stand-up comedian. Never heard him tell a joke, at least not one that makes me laugh. Most of his stuff is not about spines, but if you want to watch.
Is he one of these internet trolls that I've read about?
Yeah, he keeps on saying things like, him and his pals, they keep on saying things like, LOL, remember when you were really into QAnon? You're never going to be governor of Michigan, LOL. And other guys in his circle have been accusing me of stealing his wife's pie tin and not returning it.
And is there any accuracy to that?
We don't need to ask.
It's false.
Yeah, we don't need to ask.
I've never done
questions here. This is
never done some shit like that.
Okay, no, it's fine. That's not really. We're kind of a friendly podcast. We're all about teaching medicine. So I'm sorry for him getting you with the gotcha journalism stuff.
Hey, that's okay.
It's just not our way.
He's the media establishment.
So anyway, don't check out any of the Brett Mercer stuff or that Big Time Garbage, I think, is a podcast he's associated with, and a Twitch stream also, I believe. But thank you, Dr. Jared Delano, so much that we learned today about supplements that basically they should be taken without any assessment of a person in question. Anyway, thank you. Thank you to our producer, Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
LOL, Elon Musk. LOL, Elon Musk. LOL, remember when you were really into QAnon? Elon Musk. LOL, Elon Musk. He is really into QAnon. Never done some shit like that. LOL. 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 LOL, remember when Elon Musk got really into QAnon? Elon Musk got really into QAnon.
is drlondonsmith.com, and this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.